free speech is about. Not everything we agree with, right? And I also want to talk about the Center for Political Innovation. I've interviewed Caleb Maupin in one of the segments, if you heard the radio show a while back. He wrote a book about Kamala Harris, which I think Tulsi Gabbard read, or because some of the content she shared at the debate, if you remember. But anyway, we're opening a local chapter here in the LA area for Center for Political Innovation.
And discussing about what we want to do to start our presence here in the LA area. CPI, we're here at the end of the parade route in East Pasadena. We need a government of action. Yes, exactly. The Uhuru case. Yeah. That was actually a victory for free speech. We're now here at the Pasadena Convention Center, also where the Civic Auditorium is, where I worked on America's Got Talent for a couple days, and it looks like the fire department is also involved here. Looks like people are in line waiting for some services. So, okay, I think what this is, they're coordinating based on what people's needs are. So if they need a lot of different supplies, then they're being directed to Santa Anita Park, racetrack, so I guess this is where people are just coming to figure out, because they've seen this on TV probably, so they're coming here just to kind of sort it out based on what they need. Because some people might just need clothing and food. Some people might need more than that. And there have been 800 to 1,000 or more people that have been staying here in the convention center, mostly on this side. This is the biggest section, but it's the Civic Auditorium there, and then that's the other side. No lines.
Yeah, to drop off.
Oh yeah,
those are
someone
the
handed
drop-offs?
us those flyers earlier
okay.
to make sure other people knew that if they needed stuff, things, items, they can go to those places too.
Oh, fantastic! And we're seeing.
Again, just sharing stuff that's for
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I'm lucky enough where my house survived. About 10 houses survived in my street. There used to be 40 houses on that street.
Wow.
But I've been pretty much roughing it. We don't have water until April at the earliest. But we didn't have power until the day before Valentine's Day. And then the day of before Valentine's Day, we had a mudslide and a flood at the same time. And so I had to evacuate my house the third time. We're all going through something different every day. One day you feel like you don't have any hope. The very next day you're feeling like, you know what, I can do this, because you've seen what the community is doing around you. But as of right now, it feels like it's around 25%, but we're hoping we can get that percentage down more and more as people are seeing the options, as we're putting the options out there. Just a few days ago, All Together, that's the other group that I'm a part of.
Wow, there's a lot. That's great. There's a lot going on.
Just a few days ago, a group called All Together, which they're working on finding, getting neighborhood captains in every single area of Altadena so we can communicate with the larger network on the building needs of our individual neighborhoods. So I'm the neighborhood captain of my neighborhood, along with one other neighbor. And anyways, that group, we recently put out our very first kind of a guide on options that people have that had no insurance or feel like they cannot afford to rebuild. And so for the first time, we finally have our first guide out there on their options currently.
So we're here at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, which is featuring 3 performances of Shen Yun here with Ishmael. We're getting looks.
China before communism. This show's trying to portray China was better before communism, and it wasn't. And it's trying to pull out your heartstrings to say like, oh, we gotta go and restore this beautiful feudal society where like people were dancing around and music was everywhere. But this is just so to manufacture consent so Americans are able to agree and say, yeah, we must do regime change in China.
We need a serious alternative, which is the Center for Political Innovation. No war with China. Russia and Iran. Stop killing in Palestine, Yemen, Syria. Stop fascism and Nazism in Ukraine.
Having participated in the LA Times Festival of Books, I feel very compelled to work with Dan in order to write a report on the various findings that we took away from this festival, and I would like to provide all the members of CPI a better understanding of, the positions or the beliefs of other organizations such as the Worldwide Socialist website, and I feel that a report of such kind can be really salient to advancing our anti-imperialist position and to developing a mass movement that mobilizes various people from around the country.
In May of 2025, we created a workshop with Caleb Maupin here in Los Angeles that was called Do You Believe in Growth? A New Day for Los Angeles and a New Day for America.
As I went walking that river highway, I saw the bubbles that in the sky. I saw before me the great San Diego Valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
And they start having various wars around the world, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, etc. But it gets to the point where the economic problems created by technology gets to the point that war becomes constant. They have to constantly be having wars, because that's the only way they can keep their system going. War becomes constant. And one aspect of globalism, imperialism, is that they were able to have stability in the homeland because they bought off a section of the working class. We know about in the 1950s, the white picket fence and Leave It to Beaver and the comfortable life that a lot of white working class people had. Well, that's gone, right? The comfortable middle class that exists within the imperialist centers is now being liquidated and being gotten rid of. And we're entering a period where war is becoming constant. In order to maintain the system, they have to constantly be at war. And the imperialist homelands, the United States, Britain, France, Germany, these countries are deteriorating from within. Because in order to maintain this global international system, just to keep things flowing, they have to be committed to wars around the world. They have to be maintaining this global system, and they can't maintain the homeland. And so things are becoming more and more unstable here at home. And that we're entering a period where really the only way they can continue to make profits is with destructions, a period of destructive accumulation. And this is what Rosa Luxemburg predicted. World War I was the beginning of a process that would lead to a situation of constant, endless war and destructive accumulation. And she compared it to the fall of the Roman Empire. And that's kind of what happened to Rome, is that Rome spread itself all out over the globe, and pretty soon it got to the point that the whole thing fell apart because they were trying to maintain a system and they couldn't maintain peace at home. And we're going to talk more about the Roman Empire after lunch, but I guess I'll just make this point. Was the fall of the Roman Empire a good thing? No, right? Obviously the Roman Empire was bad. It was a horrendous empire, slavery, and all kinds of awful things, but what replaced it wasn't better. The human life expectancy decreased by years as a result of the fall of the Roman Empire. The human height went down by inches because of the fall of the Roman Empire. There was a huge amount of instability that followed, and what replaced this brutal, horrific empire in Rome was instability and chaos on a new level that led to all of civilization suffering. And that's what kind of separates CPI from a lot of leftists out there. There's a lot of leftists say, well, this country's racist, and this country's evil, burn it down, tear it down. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, what's going to come next? Mm-hmm. They're more interested in the vengeance and and getting their feelings out there, but they're not saying what actually comes next. And we have people that look at our 4-point plan, and they say, why are you always trying to save the country? Why are you always trying to save the system? Because I live here. Because, as bad as things might be in the United States, I really like that these lights work. The electricity. I really like when I go to the water and I turn it on, and it comes out. And if you're living in a society that's collapsing, that doesn't happen. Anyone who's ever been through a war or a huge amount of economic chaos, it's not a good thing. We don't want America to collapse. We want America to be reborn. We know that this economic order that the United States is at the center of isn't working. And we know that the United States has to change in order to survive, but we are motivated by love of our community, love of our country, and opposition to what this system is doing to it. And that's a fundamental difference that we have. Leftism is very much tainted by this kind of vengeful, angry aesthetic, whereas we are looking at the economic realities of the situation and we're saying we have to change things, and that there are divisions within our ruling elite now that are creating the opening for a movement that could actually change things. So, I've obviously got plenty more to say, but that's kind of the basics of where we're at in terms of the global and economic situation.
Each week, depending on the issue and what is happening in our community and the country around the world, we have different activities. I'm here with Caleb, guys, but at the moment we don't have good news, I guess, right? We were waiting to get more information.
We're here with the crowd. I understand that the courts have shot down Trump's ICE raids, but he's appealing that. So the protesters are here, and they're saying ICE out of Los Angeles, ICE out of LA, and we've seen some graffiti. Some of the graffiti pointing out that ICE is actually trained by the Israeli Defense Forces, by the Israeli military, linking what's happening in Gaza to what is happening here on the streets of LA. So quite a big gathering here in downtown Los Angeles. Now the curfew is still in effect, so we're going to see how things go as the evening progresses, but it's still light outside, so we're glad to be here in Los Angeles.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest!
As you can see, it's a combination of ICE and National Guard that are here at the ICE out of LA rally march protest.
Well, actually, the truth is, it's the billionaires, it's the ones who amass more greed, who are ruining everything for themselves and for their subjects.
Let me ask you, are you going to be part of the No Kings rallies tomorrow?
100%. I'm doing it in my own way, in my own community, where I'm taking care of my people, making sure that we're all safe, and sharing food, singing, dancing, connecting to God in our God's way, connecting to each other.
What about the No Kings call?
It's just like all the worst things that have happened in history come from as a result of hierarchies. So we have a king who's trying to impose his rule on the strongest economic power in the West, which is us in California. You know, we're not just in power because of resources, because of the beautiful land, because of Temecula, because of Bakersfield, but because of the bodies of immigrants who come here and work, skilled, tax-paying, and honest.
We are here promoting the peace talks that happened last week. Make sure that we are able to push this movement forward. Make sure that we are stopping the death of the relentless death of the Ukrainian and Russian lives that are being thrown away just for the profits of a few billionaires and a bunch of other industries that are profiting off this.
Peace in Ukraine. Peace in Palestine. Peace around the world, everywhere, now. We need peace now. Stop the killing now. Stop funding the killing as well. Invest that money in the American people, not in death. We're getting hops. People obviously recognize our message is clear. We want peace. All right, even somebody here on the street. Yeah, they just passed here, honking. All right. Free Palestine! Hands off Venezuela!
Yeah, hands off Venezuela.
We don't need another war. We want peace.
We won't go.
We won't go to Venezuela, right? Right, guys? You're not going to get drafted to go to Venezuela for what? For oil.
No war for oil!
No war for oil. This is not about drugs and cartels. This is about oil. Peacefully licensing the oil than going